In a galaxy far away, danger loomed over many peaceful planets. A fierce alien race called the Zarkonians was spreading fear and destruction. They were strong and ruthless, attacking anyone who stood in their way. The Galactic Council, made up of leaders from different worlds, gathered in a grand meeting. The council members were worried and knew they had to act fast. "We must send a call for help," shouted a tall, blue-skinned alien named Varnock. "If we do not act now, we will all fall to the Zarkonians." The council agreed and quickly sent out a desperate message across the galaxy, asking for brave warriors to come and help. They hoped for strong fighters from powerful planets to join the battle. But as the days passed, only silence filled the galaxy. One by one, the powerful races refused to help. They were afraid of the Zarkonian might and preferred to stay safe in their own territories. Finally, the council received one unexpected reply. The message came from Earth, a small blue planet in a distant corner of the galaxy. The council members looked at each other in disbelief. Earth was known for its cowardly humans. Many races laughed at them, saying they were weak and timid. "Do we really want these humans to join us?" questioned a sharp-eyed alien named Zira. "They will only bring us shame." But Varnock stood firm. "They may be called cowards, but they are also clever and resourceful. We must give them a chance!" And so the council sent a message to Earth, inviting the humans to join the fight against the Zarkonians. On Earth, people were watching the news when the message arrived. They were shocked to hear that the Galactic Council wanted their help. Some felt proud, while others were hesitant. A brave woman named Captain Emily Carter stepped forward. She was a skilled pilot and a leader among her people. "We cannot ignore this call," she declared. "We must show the galaxy that humans can fight too." Many volunteers answered Emily's call, eager to prove their worth. They gathered in a large hangar, buzzing with excitement and nerves. The humans were all different. Some were young, some old, some were scientists, and others were soldiers. They all had one thing in common, a burning desire to protect their home and stand up for those who could not fight. As they prepared for the journey, Captain Carter looked at her team. "We may be seen as cowards, but we have the heart to fight for what is right. Let's show the galaxy who we really are." They climbed aboard a spaceship named the Indomitable. It was an old ship, but it had been upgraded with the latest technology. The humans took their seats and strapped in, their hearts racing with anticipation. Emily felt a mix of fear and excitement as the ship powered up and prepared for launch. The crew was determined to prove themselves. They trained hard during the journey, learning how to operate the ship and use their weapons. They faced challenges, but each time they fell, they picked themselves back up, stronger than before. As the ship approached the Zarkonian territory, the crew gathered in the control room. "This is it!" Emily shouted, her voice full of energy. "We are about to make history." But as they prepared for battle, the doubts crept back in. Would they really be able to fight against the Zarkonians? Would the galaxy see them as heroes, or as the cowardly humans they had been labeled? Emily took a deep breath and looked at her crew. "We will face this together," she said, her voice steady. "No matter what happens, we will fight for our home and for those who cannot fight for themselves." With that, the Indomitable soared into the unknown, ready to answer the call for help and prove that the cowardly humans were ready to fight. As the Indomitable flew through the vast darkness of space, the crew of humans prepared for the battle ahead. They were excited but also nervous. Each person had heard stories of the Zarkonians and their ruthless ways. The humans knew they had to be ready. Captain Emily Carter gathered everyone in the main training room. The walls were lined with equipment, and the air buzzed with energy. "Listen up, team," she called out, her voice strong. "We are going to train hard. The Zarkonians won't go easy on us. We must learn to fight as a team." The humans nodded, eager to prove themselves. Emily divided them into groups. Some would practice combat skills, while others would learn how to operate the ship's weapons. Each person had a role to play, and they all knew it. First, Emily led a group in hand-to-hand combat training. They learned basic moves to defend themselves and how to use their surroundings to gain an advantage. At first, the training was tough. The humans were not used to fighting like this, and many stumbled or fell. Laughter mixed with frustration filled the room. "Get up!" Emily shouted, encouraging them. "You won't learn if you stay down." Slowly but surely, the humans began to improve. They helped each other, sharing tips and tricks. A young man named Jake showed everyone how to use their weight to push an opponent down. A woman named Sarah taught them how to stay calm under pressure. The team spirit grew stronger with each training session. Next, they moved on to using weapons. The crew learned to fire the ship's blasters and how to reload quickly. They practiced shooting targets that floated in the air. At first, their aim was off and many shots missed. But they did not give up. Each time they missed, they focused harder. "Imagine the Zarkonians as those targets," Emily encouraged. "You have to hit them before they hit you." After hours of practice, the crew began to see improvements. Their aim became more accurate, and their confidence grew. They even started to enjoy the training. They cheered each other on and celebrated small victories. As the days went by, the humans faced new challenges. They learned about teamwork and how to operate as one unit. They practiced different scenarios, from ambushes to rescue missions. They had to think on their feet and make quick decisions. During one training session, the alarms on the ship suddenly rang. It was a drill, but the humans didn't know that. They quickly jumped into action, running to their positions. They shouted commands and moved with purpose. For the first time, they felt like real soldiers. "This is it!" Jake shouted, a fire in his eyes. "We're finally becoming a team." As they continued to train, the crew members formed strong friendships. They shared stories about their lives on Earth, their fears, and their hopes for the future. They learned to trust each other, knowing they would fight side by side in the battle to come. One evening, after a long day of training, Emily called everyone together. They sat in a circle, tired but happy. "I know we have a long way to go, but I am proud of each and every one of you," she said, her voice full of warmth. "We are not just humans, we are a team. Together we will show the galaxy what we can do." The crew cheered, their spirits high. They felt ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. They had transformed from a group of uncertain individuals into a determined team, ready to fight for their planet and their new allies. As they looked out at the stars, the humans knew they were not just answering a call for help. They were becoming heroes in their own right, ready to face the Zarkonians with courage and strength. After weeks of intense training, the crew of the Indomitable was finally ready for their first real battle. They had learned to work as a team, and their spirits were high. However, the reality of the upcoming fight weighed heavily on them. The Zarkonians were known for their strength and ruthlessness, and everyone felt a mix of excitement and fear. As they approached the Zarkonian territory, Captain Emily Carter stood at the helm of the ship. She gazed at the swirling colors of space outside the window. "All right, team, listen up," she called, her voice steady. "We're about to enter Zarkonian space. Remember everything we trained for. Stay focused and work together." The crew nodded, their hearts racing. They took their positions ready for anything. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. The screen flickered to life, showing Zarkonian ships in the distance. They were huge and menacing, black against the bright stars. "There they are," shouted Jake, pointing at the screen. "They're coming right for us!" "Prepare for battle," Emily ordered. The crew sprang into action, their training kicking in. They each grabbed their weapons and took their places. The Zarkonian ships fired their powerful blasters, and bright beams of light shot through space. Emily shouted, "Evasive maneuvers!" She steered the Indomitable to the left, dodging the incoming fire. The ship shook as they narrowly avoided a blast. "Return fire!" Emily commanded. The crew worked together, aiming the ship's blasters at the enemy. Jake and Sarah, now skilled marksmen, fired accurately, hitting the Zarkonian ships. The Zarkonians were caught off guard, and explosions lit up the dark void. "We can do this!" Jake cheered. "Keep firing!" But the Zarkonians were not easily defeated. They quickly regrouped and charged at the Indomitable. More enemy ships appeared, surrounding the humans. The crew felt the pressure as they fought against overwhelming odds. "Stay calm," Emily shouted, trying to keep everyone focused. "We can't give up!" As they searched for the spy, Emily noticed a crew member acting suspiciously. His name was Marcus, a new engineer who had joined after their first battle. He was quiet and kept to himself, often disappearing during crucial moments. Emily decided to keep a close eye on him. One evening, Emily followed Marcus after dinner. He walked down dark corridors, glancing over his shoulder. Emily's heart raced as she followed him, trying to stay hidden. She wanted to know what he was up to. Marcus finally stopped outside a small locked room. He pulled out a key and opened the door. Emily hid around the corner, listening carefully. Inside, she could hear him speaking. "Yes, I have the information you need," Marcus said, his voice low. "The humans are planning another attack. They don't suspect a thing. I will continue to feed you details. Emily felt her blood boil. He was the spy! She had to act fast. She quickly contacted Jake and Sarah through her communicator. I found the spy! It's Marcus! He's in the storage room. I need backup! We're on our way! Jake replied. Emily took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Marcus turned around, startled to see her. What do you want? He stammered, his eyes wide. I know what you've been doing, Marcus! Emily shouted. You're the traitor! You've been working with the Zarkonians. Marcus tried to escape, but Jake and Sarah arrived just in time. They blocked the door, trapping him. You won't get away, Jake declared, his voice firm. You can't stop me, Marcus shouted, panic in his eyes. The Zarkonians will destroy you! Not if we stop you first, Sarah replied, stepping closer. They were ready to confront him and protect their ship. Emily felt a sense of determination wash over her. They would not let betrayal tear them apart. Together, they would face whatever came next. With Marcus captured, the crew of the Indomitable faced a new challenge. They had discovered the spy in their midst, but the Zarkonians were still a powerful threat. As Emily and her team prepared for the final battle, they knew they needed a solid plan. Emily gathered her crew in the main meeting room. Everyone was anxious, but the victory over the spy had boosted their confidence. Listen up, team, Emily said, her voice firm. We know the Zarkonians are coming for us, and we need to be ready. Marcus revealed their attack plan, and we have the chance to strike first. The crew listened closely. Jake, Sarah, and the others exchanged glances, excitement and determination shining in their eyes. We will set a trap, Emily continued. We'll pretend to be weak and vulnerable, drawing them in. Then we will launch a surprise attack. That's a risky plan, Jake replied, scratching his head. What if it backfires? We can't be afraid to take risks, Emily insisted. If we want to win, we need to fight smart. The crew agreed, their spirits rising. They worked together to prepare for the battle. They practiced their moves, double-checked their weapons, and set up defenses around the ship. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Days later, the moment arrived. The crew spotted the Zarkonian ships approaching from the distance. The enemy was massive, dark ships looming against the stars. They're here! Shouted Sarah, her voice full of excitement and fear. Everyone, to your stations, Emily commanded. Remember the plan! As the Zarkonian ships closed in, the humans pretended to be weak. They shut down some of their systems, making the Indomitable look like an easy target. The Zarkonians took the bait and moved closer, eager to finish off what they thought was a defenseless ship. Now, Emily shouted, her heart pounding. She flipped the switch, and the ship roared to life. Lights flashed, alarms blared, and weapons powered up. The crew sprang into action, ready for battle. The Zarkonians were caught off guard, but they quickly regrouped. Bright beams of light shot from their ships, aiming at the Indomitable. Emily maneuvered the ship skillfully, dodging the incoming fire. Return fire! She yelled. The crew fired their weapons, sending blasts toward the enemy. Explosions lit up the darkness of space as the humans fought back with all their strength. We can do this! Jake shouted, firing his blaster. He felt the thrill of battle surging through him. They were fighting for their home, and they would not back down. The Zarkonian ships retaliated, and the battle intensified. The crew faced wave after wave of enemy attacks, but they fought together, supporting one another. Emily guided the ship expertly, and the crew worked as one, their training shining through. Suddenly, a massive Zarkonian ship broke through their lines, heading straight for the Indomitable. It was the same ship that had attacked them in the first battle. Emily felt a surge of determination. We're not going to let them take us down. I'll take care of it, Jake shouted, racing to the ship's weapons control. He aimed the ship's cannons at the enemy vessel. He took a deep breath, focusing on the target. Fire! The blast hit the Zarkonian ship hard, causing it to shake and tremble. The crew cheered as they saw the enemy falter. Keep pushing, Emily urged. We're almost there! With renewed energy, the humans pressed forward. The Zarkonians began to retreat, realizing they were not facing easy prey. They were fighting against a team of brave warriors who had come together in the face of danger. Finally, after what felt like hours of fighting, the last Zarkonian ship turned and fled, leaving the Indomitable victorious. Cheers erupted throughout the ship. The crew had done the impossible. They had defended their home and fought back against a powerful enemy. Emily felt a wave of pride as she looked at her team. We did it! She shouted, her voice filled with joy. We stood together and we won! The crew celebrated their victory, knowing that they had proven their strength and courage. They had faced betrayal and danger, but in the end, they emerged as heroes. The galaxy would remember the humans who answered the call, showing that even the most cowardly could rise to greatness. As they floated among the stars, Emily knew that this was just the beginning. There would be more battles ahead, but with her brave crew by her side, she was ready to face whatever came next.